Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. It is quite a rainy day in New York and I feel like I start every video by saying that lately. It's just how spring goes. But I was going down memory lane and in my photos and videos and I was thinking about summer vacation and how ready I am for it. There wasn't a specific place that we could travel to or any destination that we had in mind, but I do want like a beachy type vacation, even if it's like a quick getaway to Miami. And I was living vicariously through my Italy trip. While going through those photos, I was like, I wish I had the knowledge that I have now from when I had first went. Like, I wish there was a really precise, detailed video on how to do it, because that was one of my favorite trips ever. It had a little bit of beach and relaxation and pools, beautiful scenery, and then a little bit of like a walking city tour, history. We kind of went all over the place and I wanted to share all of that with you. So if you're planning your summer vacation and if you're planning a getaway to Italy, I feel like I have the perfect itinerary for you. Now, with my trip, we did 2 spontaneous side trips. So Rashid and I had went from New York to Rome, and then from Rome, immediately I knew that I had wanted to go to Capri. So we planned that whole travel. So imagine just that full 7-hour flight from New York to Rome, went from there immediately to Naples by the train because it's connected, just so we can get that whole big travel part of the chunk out of the way. Stayed a day in Pompeii, went to Capri for a day trip, which in all honesty, if I had the time and if it wasn't my first time to Italy, I would probably stay just a whole week in Capri, especially because of how hard it is to get to it, or all of the steps that it takes to get to Capri. Literally looked like heaven to us, from all of like the very blue waters, the mountains, the trees. Sorry, I just went ahead and looked it up. They're called stone pine trees. They look like big umbrella. They're also known as like umbrella trees. They look they're so beautiful and I love them. Aside from cypresses and just seeing all of that nature, oh my god, it was so beautiful. I was like, God has definitely taken his time when he painted out this place. It was just so amazing to be there. We went to have like a quick brunch at this spot called Da Gelsomina, which I will link it below, of course, and you'll see it in the video. Oh my god, the food was so delicious. We ended up getting like octopus and just like seafood in general was really, really great. The hospitality was amazing. I mean, they gave us everything that we needed. There was no competing for it, even though it was the middle of July and everybody was, you know, out and about and Capri was crowded. It was like amazing. You just sat by the pool and took a dip and people watched and grabbed a coffee, watched the nature. Now, to get to the top of, you know, the mountain, and I wish someone gave me this advice because we were literally at the ATM going crazy, calling, like looking to get cash and all of that, because they're not gonna take your card for the taxis. You can take like the funicular or their bus, but I'd rather just take a taxi. Now, to get to Capri, and I have all of the text and everything written in the video.
You know what? Let me just show you.
Guys, look how massive this lemon is. Wow. So we ended up going to Naples, Capri, just for a day trip, and then returned back, spent probably less than another evening in Pompeii, and went back to Rome. When we landed in Rome, Rashid's friend had messaged us in Switzerland, and he was like, why don't you just come out and like do a quick trip with us? And we were like, okay, I guess we're gonna go on our second day trip. So I can always go ahead and make a video about that as well, but it's just, I'll make like a short or something about that. So we ended up doing a quick day trip in Switzerland, and we ended up doing also a quick day trip for Madrid because The Weeknd was performing, and him and I are like huge fans of The Weeknd. We went to go watch the concert in Spain, and we were like, okay, if we're in Italy, Spain is gonna be a quick trip from there, which actually we had went through Wizz Air, which was a big mistake, probably like a nightmare, the way that they canceled on us without telling us after waiting for 4 hours. It was like a huge thing, and I can get into that story as well. But regardless, we ended up making it to Spain, and then finally we went back to Italy so we could end the trip and then just go back to New York from there. But when ended up going, like I said, back to Rome. We didn't spend too much time there. We ended up going to, you know, see the Spanish Steps, and we went to the Pantheon one of those days. We also just did like this restaurant called the Grotte, and it was pretty good as well. I think the atmosphere and the ambiance of it was beautiful, and the architecture on the inside was quite interesting, and it was old and romantic. But we ended up going to see just like a couple of the monuments, and then we left for the Switzerland trip. And once we returned from the Switzerland trip, we continued Rome, where we did the Colosseum, Trevi Fountain, which is iconic, and you just feel like you're living, I don't know, now I'm gonna age myself, but like was living the best Lizzie McGuire dream, Lizzie McGuire life. Another place that we went, we had asked like a gentleman who was like a local, we were like, where do you guys go and hang out? Where do you guys eat? And he mentioned Trastevere, I apologize for my pronunciation, but it is basically like on the river. We ended up taking like a quick scooter from like the Pantheon, and it wasn't too long at all. I always recommend when traveling, like, if you can, take not just Ubers, but other modes of transportation, a scooter, a bike, a bus, trains, so that you can really interact and be a part of the country and see their systems almost like a local. Not all the way, because, you know, also getting lost doesn't hurt either. But yeah, with that all being said, I will leave this video with you. Hello, my baby. Finding the route to Capri and finding the proper itinerary to touring the city is very helpful. So I'll go ahead and I'll put it exactly the way it was in this video so that you can have the step-by-steps and plan your itinerary as easily as possible so that you're not jumping around in all these places. If I make it out to Italy again, sitting in a few days in Capri will definitely be really great for the mind. We didn't, you know, because of the day trip, we didn't get to do the grotto, which is, I mean, it's so beautiful. I'll also link that below. Something that's going to be on my list, or on my bucket list for sure. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope that this helped you a lot. I hope that your summer travels are easily down-packed and written now and your itinerary is set. And I will see you in the next one. Ciao!